Mr. Mahesh Chandak, Mr. Anil Verma, Mr. Milind Boyar, our very own Sandeep Secretary in the government of Goa, all the three chiefs of the three important departments, Fire, Pollution Control Board and Inspectorate of Factories and Boilers, and all of you, I would say, captains of industry. First of all, it is heartening that to see such a houseful thing, and that too for a industrial safety conference. In the first place, I must compliment CII Goa for moving forward in this direction. And a very important aspect, something that impacts society, something that impacts everyone, not only the direct stakeholders or only the industry. And I think sometimes we wait for events to happen to change our mindset, change our thinking. And if I remember years ago, in this country, the Union Carbide incident set the trend as to how important is safety, how important is evaluation in advance, how important is planning in case you are going to anticipate a disaster. Nobody desires that there is a disaster. Nobody desires that something goes wrong or an accident takes place in an industry. But to do that, there are certain basic things what we need to do. Are we actually doing it? With so many eminent speakers speaking prior to me speaking now, I think basically they have covered most of the things to be said and done, especially the technical aspects. Of course, most of it you would be discussing post the inaugural session. But what I want to say, and as rightly said by some speakers, safety has to develop right at the grassroots level. It has to develop as a culture that everybody feels it is his bounden duty to protect people in your factory, to protect the people around the factory, the environment around, should be a responsibility of every citizen, of every industry. Today, as an industries minister, I know in the industrial estates what is the condition. We may discuss so many things. We may say we'll do this and that, but how much of it is going to be finally implemented? And you are going to have those particular measures and protocol followed to bring about real safety of your own workers is the moot point. Simple things, I'll tell you very simple things. During the COVID period, we have seen it has brought a different ecosystem altogether. We realize what is hygiene, we realize what is not passing on the virus to others. You still have some people wearing masks, though we prefer not to wear as such. It brought about changes in industry as well. Health sector, automatically everything connected to the health sector got an impetus, it moved forward. But at the same time, did it teach us a lesson? I would say not everything, not in everything. You go to the simple thing, basics of toilets for your workers. What is the condition? Are they hygienic? Their food habits, their canteens, are they really hygienic, which will not transmit a disease? Is the simple question I am asking you. Please ask yourself. We think these are simple things. We think those workers perhaps are used to living that way, let them live that way. But ultimately, when they get the virus, when they go to the doctor, what do the most ordinary worker does? Chooses to sleep at home. Aram kar raha hai. Aram hi kar raha hai. Tabiyat theek nahi hai. This is a common refrain. Why is it happening? Because these basic things are not being paid attention. How much loss of productivity, how much loss of the manpower on those crucial days. Have we pondered to do these simple things? Coming to the environment around you. Garbage has been a real menace even in a state like Goa, where we say we are a beautiful state, most educated people who know and understand. But what do we see sometimes? Pack your garbage in a plastic bag and throw it around on the highway. Even now it's happening in spite of government taking so much of effort. So similarly in your own factories, in your own industrial estates, the amount of shrubbery, bushes that have come up in the last monsoons we talk of corporate social responsibility. Have you taken it as a social responsibility to merely keep your environment clean? Clean environment, will it not give you clean air? Where you will feel comfortable to move around? Where insects or mosquitoes or other vector-borne diseases will not impact again your people working there, your workforce, you yourself. How much would it impact if one simple mosquito, we say, one bite can cause you various types of diseases? You will be bedridden, you will be at home. Okay, doctor will cure you. But how much of your own productivity are you losing? Is this not also a safety measure? I am glad. I was very glad as I walked in. You have a beautiful exhibitions, whether for the industry, whether for the startup or all those connected, that so and so equipments are available. Yes, we are moving with the times. We are moving with the changing scenario around the world. But how much of it are we going to actually implement in the industry? How much are we going to get into play to bring real safety to the common worker, to your own industrial worker, to those employees in your factories or in your establishments? This is what is first necessary. And if we do that, if you look at the basics well, then it is automatic building up on the further things that have to shore up the safety aspect. It is not merely enough. You get one of the best equipments in the world. You buy those things. How much do you use it for the common good? How much do you actually bring into play in the factory environment, in the industrial scenario, in the industrial environment is what is necessary. Prevention is better than cure. A stitch in time saves 9. These are things what we have to think about. How much we do in advance to really see that we take care of industrial safety. Goa is one place where everybody loves to come, whether it is the tourists, whether for investment and investments of all sorts. Who wouldn't love to come to Goa? In the industrial scenario, I am myself trying to bring about a lot of changes in the industrial policy, tweaking the Industrial Act, tweaking various other SOPs that were there before I came in, wherein simplifying the procedure, wherein even by a mere declaration, almost by a mere declaration, you will be permitted to set up your industry if you get the land and if you have got a good project and thereafter you get the permission before starting production. In fact, that is the new narrative which I want to adopt while welcoming the industry. In fact, in this coming assembly session, you will see all of it happening. But while doing this, it gives me real happiness that while looking at the industrial scenario, you also are looking at the safety. You are also looking at keeping people safe, environment safe. But as I said, and I am repeating it, important is how much we will implement. Like a simple thing, I have the fireman in front of me. You should not wait for him to come with all his fire brigades to douse the fire. How much you are going to do to see that there is never going to be any fire. Locally keep the equipment which will just douse it in the first instant. That is what is important. Today the world is changing. Entire scenario is changing. You have artificial intelligence today. You have robotics. This also is going to impact industry in a big way, sooner than what we expect. We have to keep in tune with the times. We have to move forward, keeping all those things before us. It is only then you can have good planning. And good planning is merely, by planning it is not enough. How much of it are you going to implement? How much of it are you going to adopt? You will save on your costs. Basically, looking at being safe, looking at the good health of everyone, as it said, health is wealth. You have to realize it is for every worker of yours, every person in your organization. If they are healthy, your company will be healthy. You will have a healthy balance sheet. You will have a much larger profit than what you are actually getting, because you are going to look after the interests of your stakeholders. All those connected with the industry, all those who are connected with you. It is said, the customer is the king. If you do something and there are no takers, what sense will it make? But if you go a little extra mile, show that even you care for him in a better way, you care for his health, you care for the well-being of society, I think we will be moving forward in a much healthier manner, with all of us cooperating, collaborating, and marshalling the resources, marshalling everything that is necessary to promote a good industry, a good industrial atmosphere, increasing productivity, reducing the costs of production, getting more profits, and creating and building an economy that will impact every citizen of this country, every citizen of this state. That should be your mantra. I hope today, with your deliberations on industrial safety, you will be discussing all of this and much more. And today, these are times when sometimes you have to think out of the box, not on the normals, what normally used to take place or used to happen. Today times have changed. It is not that they are changing. We have to rise to the occasion. Each one of you, as captains of industry, have to rise to the occasion. Each one of you has to give your best shot. Each one of you has to think, I have to do much more than what I have been doing. What is that can propel me? What is that I can build up in my company? How is it that I can make mine one of the best companies producing this particular product? How is it that I can compete with the rest of my people in the rest of the other companies or elsewhere in the world? It is only then you will create a very aggressive, winning spirit within you. Basically, it is said that we hardly utilize the great power that we have here, a very low percentage, 6%, 7%. It should be up to us how well we can utilize it much more to be leaders in the real sense of the word. And I am happy that you will be leaders in industrial safety as well. Goa is a place, I must say, when you have such conferences, you have perhaps people who have come from outside Goa, which automatically helps propel the mind in a very different manner. It is not only that people come here to enjoy. I tell it at every conference that I go. Goa is one place which can produce or help produce individuals the best in them, because the thoughts that can flow in a lovely place like Goa, in a lovely state, as I say, the gods dwell in Goa. Like you will have a state like Kerala saying it's God's country. I say, okay, it can be God's country, but the gods dwell in Goa. So I always keep saying this to them. And with that particular scenario and belief, you have the belief, yes, we will do well on your industrial plant, we will do well in our companies, we will do well as far as our product is concerned, we will do well as far as industrial safety is concerned, for the well-being of the entire community, for the well-being of the citizens of Goa, for the well-being of our country. Let us all cooperate, collaborate for building one of the best industrial scenario in this country. I hope today's deliberations will help you exactly do that. I wish the Goa chapter of CII, led by Swati Sargonkar, all the very best. Whatever cooperation that would be anytime necessary from the government, as Sanjeev has said, we are always there. At least I am always going to be there, because promoting the industrial scenario in a manner, we have good industry, eco-friendly, means new industries coming up, helping those prosperous industry who are already there in Goa to expand as much as possible, so that you are more prosperous, bring prosperity to the citizens of Goa, as well as welcoming new industry which would like to set shop in Goa.